fluid smells kind of sweet.
Yeah, it does, bitch.
Ain't no thing but chicken wine.
Yo, you are listening to the motherfucking IBHM podcast. That's the I'm Black, He's Mexican podcast, where I am the spick, the nigga, the kike, and the motherfucking self-righteous Republican. Yo, this is the Papo Cogneto podcast, the motherfucking spick podcast. And this episode has been brought to you by the motherfucking AC breaking down again. Yes, y'all, this has been, I want to say, like the third consecutive week where shit goes up and just like gravity fucking promises, or the theory of whatever the fuck his name is said, what goes up must come down. And yeah, it's hotter than a motherfucker out here, y'all. So I don't know how I'm supposed to survive, how I'm not supposed to strangulate my kids, my wife, mother-in-law, whenever anyone else that wants to come and motherfucking visit while it's at least 90 degrees inside, because outside it's pushing 100 plus, which I guess it's, I mean, if that's not to be expected, I don't know what the fuck, but it does piss me off though, just a little bit. The fact that, again, have one of the video professionals of Levine, which I don't know if that means anything, but you know what I'm saying, highly sought after, highly praised, and this cat definitely comes, and it feels like he gets it taken care of in no time, and sure as shit, soon as he leaves, we're sweating bricks again, sweating bricks, otra vez, and it makes me laugh and cry and want to die all at the same time. I don't even mean to rhyme. Here I am. I ain't lying. And it makes me think, because I know one of the biggest things this past week, and actually, I mean, every fucking week, I foresee until we get this motherfucker out of office or the world ends, whatever comes first. But Trump, yo, and I got to get this shit out the way because, you know, I like to, salute America. And as much as I want to give shout outs to John McCain, who recently passed away, and as much as I knew that he was, a war hero, and I'm jumping all over the place. I know, I'm sorry, I was supposed to get on Trump's ass, but he can wait, right? He can wait. Mr. John McCain, who was the senator out here in Arizona, he tried going for the presidential crown, and I forget if that was who we was running up against, and I say we like I'm still a Democrat, when Obama was running. I don't remember if it was Kerry. I don't remember if it was Republican or a Democrat or not. If it was McCain, I want to say it was McCain, because I remember how outlandish and ridiculous it was when he had Vice President, I already forget her fucking name, from Alaska. And anyways, it was a shit show, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't able to, we couldn't see, he was one of the good guys. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of bad rap when it comes to Republicans, and with good merit. You know, we see it. We ain't fucking blind. It doesn't take this piece of shit president to, you know what I'm saying, to make us feel like, that's the one bad cop. Nah, it's just, it was a mixture of shit. And as decorated as Mr. McCain was, you couldn't, unfortunately, it wasn't anything to step up to when you had suave ass motherfucking fresh out of Chirac Senator, then former President Barack Obama. So that was kind of a hard one for him to face. But I didn't realize how much I appreciated this cat, Mr. John McCain. Because even though, in my healthy days, I'd run around his little office that he had in Central Phoenix off of Camelback in like 16 to 24th Street, something like that. I used to run every day, around his building, kind of flipping it off because, I had just become a Democrat. And I was like, fuck you guys, evil, pretentious fucks. Anyways, I didn't realize how strong the hate was. And again, we're so ignorant. I don't know if they realized what they was actually mad at, or even had the facts straight. Because sometimes, like a bull, supposedly, all you can see is red. And that's just going to, be where all the energy of your aggravation, frustration, and pissed offness comes from. I guess aggravation and pissed offness is the same thing. But regardless, people were like saying such heinous shit. And I'm like, motherfucking John McCain. Someone who had gone to war, being captured. I know that was the biggest butt of the joke. But then he served his fucking country, yo. He was like a true Boy Scout. Like, motherfuckers can talk shit about Boy Scouts all day, but when I see motherfuckers like Henry Rollins and, just saying upstanding individuals, like, it just makes you feel like, fuck all the BS, fuck all the politics. I mean, shit, motherfucking Joe Biden was willing to put his shit to the side, or, politics to the side, to come and give a little something to talk to. And shouts out to Larry Fitzgerald, from the Arizona Cardinals. He's gonna die out here. He even said some nice words. I wasn't expecting that, unless that was the kind that, represent, the brothers. It sure counted, because he's a good individual too, that gives and does right by the state. But just quick, shout out, because he served his time. He could have probably did something real good. Luckily, we had real good done, I think, maybe kind of during that time in office. Regardless, it's this turnaround where it would have been nice to, to have one of the good guys up at bat, but that's not how things work. Things kind of makes me think of J Rock's latest track, something rotation. Like, it's all a rotation. And this is where we happen to be at the time, as uncomfortable it is, and in my literal case, as hot as it is. Whatever, right? Steel sharpens steel. And hopefully we get a point across, and whether it be the powers that be, they're trying to fuck with me, you ain't gonna stop the motherfucking show. And hopefully you ain't gonna stop my motherfucking my listeners from getting their message across, getting the word on, having them do what they do, and hopefully it's of goodness. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we stopping the negative, the bad, the sad, the motherfucking Ku Klux Klan. I don't know. Speaking of which, Trump, again, being a bitch-ass motherfucker that he is, and don't take that as any sign of disrespect. You know what I'm saying? I'm just speaking. And one of the things that fucks me up about that is Trump constantly is misquoting facts, just things in general, where I fear that he's going to shape the way history is seen, not only with his disapproval ratings, which is at all-time high, and he can make it front like that ain't the case, or just anything else that went down. I mean, most notably when they had his what is it called? Like when you get is it your inauguration, where you take the crown, so to speak, and they kind of throw your little shindig. I remember, and y'all can do your Google shit. Y'all can even see Conan O'Brien, because a lot of people did the cross comparisons. But I remember specifically with him, just because I think when you can give the medicine with the candy, it just helps. That's what this is. If y'all can even taste it or feel it that way, this is medicine with the candy. And anyways, I remember showing his inauguration, saying that it was like the biggest inauguration there was. It was the biggest in attendance and yada yada yada. And his shit looked barren, like it was dead. It, you know what I'm saying? Like, you done bust your third nut and your dick is just that nigga dead. Like, it was like that. And I remember at the same time, for whatever reason, it wasn't the vagina monologues, but it was whatever women's march, and forgive me for sounding as sexist as I sound, but whatever one was where they wore the pussy hats, that shit had a bigger outcome. And he tried to front saying that was his picture, that was his crowd. And the fact that we have someone that outright lies, not only is that setting a shitty example for those that actually look up to the presidency, that don't consider this presidency a joke, which is sad that we got to see it that way, which is sad that we just straight up just ignore it. And that might be the ultimate plan. You know what? Let's make this shit so goddamn ridiculous. Nobody wants to pay attention, and everybody gets exhausted. Everyone gets exhausted thinking about it. I mean, that's very well what could be going on. And the thing that fucks me up the most, people, is the fact that, and let's say, and let's be real, there's some sort of connection between Trump and the Russians. Okay, no doubt about it. We keep seeing motherfuckers get murked, get cut off, get in trouble, pleading guilty, asking for whatever fucking, you know what I'm saying, not alimony, whatever the fuck the word is, you know what I'm saying, to cover your ass, CYA, and, you know, the shit's leaking. We can see what is coming from here, whether or not we know the cause of the leak, the reason for the leak, we know where shit's coming from. And what trips me out is that with this assistance, whether it be in the technology, whether it be in influence, whether it be in the stirring up of the white race, whatever the fuck it is, this is what's going to create the biggest word, the loudest roar, the last word. And in the world where everything is being captured, stored, I don't know if the source to keep going, it's all in the motherfucking cloud. So in this world where back in the day, all that we had to communicate to pass messages along outside of word of mouth was on fucking cave walls and then tablets, as in, you know what I'm saying, like Ten Commandments sort of shits. And if that was the only way to pass, and then eventually paper and, you know what I'm saying, that nigga King James, and I'm not talking about LeBron James, no, I'm talking about the dude from you usually see on the most Bibles, like that fucker had the last word. Who the fuck was he to have this last word, to have his word be passed on? But again, to the victor goes the spoils. And whoever the fuck has the last laugh or the last say is the last one that's heard. So if we're passing on this message of bullshit, lies, what have you, and we're able to manipulate how many clicks, how many searches, whatever the fuck, that's going to be the last thing that stands. So that when whatever fucking thing that's going to happen to us happens, we're going to look back, do the analytics, do the fucking research, do the thing that pops up first on the Google feed. Like, that shit can be manipulated. And the fact that he's lying, saying this is like this when it's really like that, could you imagine what kind of false pretense and future that's going to bring about? Like, that shit's scary. Like, it almost makes it seem like, what the fuck's the point? Now, that ain't that, not the AC working. That ain't that. I don't think that's that kind of crazy. Although, you know, motherfucker, wouldn't it happen to have just a little quink-a-dink of a, you know what I'm saying, of a, so happened. Yeah, fuck it. Like, I don't know. And again, with the rigging of the search results in favor, and then there's another thing too. Like, he was bitching, saying that Google is rigged, which, I mean, yeah, I believe it, right? To the highest bidder. And he's saying that it's being rigged to only show bad coverage. Like, no, motherfucker, that just happens to be all that there is. That is the coverage of you. It's bad coverage. If you would give us good coverage, I imagine that bad coverage would go away, but that ain't the case. Like, that ain't the cards. That isn't what's going down. And what's funny, again, with him stating this, it's like when someone throws out the race car, like, oh, whoa, we haven't even got there yet. Wait, really? This? In essence, to where that's his fallback. And in this case, again, it's very annoying because that's all that we have of you. We have nothing but negative things to say. I mean, I'm sure if we try hard, you know, we could find something nice. And they say if you can't say something nice, you shouldn't say nothing at all. But fuck if we stand quiet or sit idly by while, you know what I'm saying, this sort of fuckery happens. And, I mean, I guess just lets you know that there's no fucks given. Even his fucking evangelical advisory board violated some sort of fucking laws. And it's kind of too nauseating to kind of go into, especially for the sheer fact, and mind you, I know Obama put on the front, he probably wasn't Christian. Not necessarily. Not even to try to quote to the points in time where he was, you know what I'm saying, you could see him in temple and or the mosque, whatever it's called, and doing this prayer thing. Like that's nothing. That's not bad. Because they say in order to be a good Muslim, you gotta be a good Christian, right? But at the same time, we know damn well he wasn't doing no Easter shit or whatever PR thing that they had to do, you know, with the family to showcase good old American family and yada, yada, yada. So it was evident that that was some bullshit, right? And I guess it wasn't too offensive because he at least played along, right? Did what he was supposed to do. Again, did it with elegance. Fuck what you thought of his politics. Fuck if, you know what I'm saying, for whatever reason you weren't striving during those years. Like, he played his role. Now, it almost seems, again, not almost seems, it's very evident that Trump just don't give a fuck. And again, that's part of his winning personality. I can't lie. It's winning, but it's also fuck you to everyone else. Fuck you to the rules and the establishment, and not in a sort of way where we're going to overthrow and hopefully overcome. No, a fuck you just cuz. It's just a fuck you cuz. That's all. That is. Damn.
Yo, so another thing, because I don't want to get on politics for too long, because, you know, I know all that razzles, frazzles, and pisses the fuck off, honestly. But I wanted to get on it really quickly, because we just had our primaries out here in Arizona. And the winner of Arizona Republican primary for the Senate seat, which these bitches did not delay in fighting for this motherfucker seat well before John McCain had died. They're already, you know what I'm saying, talking shit, saying he's gonna die anyway. And this bitch was literally recorded saying this. Yet somehow we forgot. And I guess the one main reason for it is that this broad, Miss Martha McSally, which you might like her, you might think, oh man, well she's an American. I think she was one of the first women to like join the Air Forces, and she served, and you know what I'm saying, like she's great. She's putting gender on the forefront of her campaign, you know what I'm saying, which again is just as easy as playing the race card, which again doesn't neglect the fact of how important it is, or you know where it stands, because again, smoke it if you got it, right? If you got a good hand, play that fucking hand. And so again, all respect to that, but at the same time, I think to myself, like, this bitch, because she's very pro-Trump, just to put that in perspective. I'm not too sure if people realize that I don't know, because at one point, it's American to be behind your president, right? And please believe Trump, he has every benefit of every fucking doubt I have over him. And plus, like I said, I was a fan of him. So it's not like I went in hating on his ass. I'm just commenting on what's going on and how it's been going. You know what I'm saying? So take that into regard as well. And she just, and I guess I'm a little bit biased when I think about, you know what I'm saying, the building of the wall and wanting to keep motherfuckers out. Like, it's terrible, not only in the inhumane way of how we treat people, and really quickly on the subject of the you know, keeping people away. They had actually, and I forget, because there was one here in Phoenix, and I think, I'm not too sure if it happened again in Texas, but there was two other, and I'm jumping around again, forgive me, squirrel. There was two other sexual abuse cases with these kids that are being held captive. You know what I'm saying? They come in from Guatemala, El Salvador, and you know what I'm saying, sometimes Mexico's, you know what I'm saying, sometimes you get a legit wetback from across the country, or from across the seas, from Cuba, the Dominican Republic, you know what I'm saying, something or another. People, you know, they may end up washing up here somehow, or cruising the motherfucking desert, more literally. And but so again, parents get separated from the kids kept in confinement around adults they've never fucking seen before. And I don't know what it is that gives a bully the gout that he has, but a lot of times, and this is very unfortunate because we see this with like domestic violence cases, is that sometimes you can see who's weak
you can see that they've been through some things. You can see that they probably haven't voiced it. So then people, they want to take advantage. You know, just how, unfortunately, you know, someone who gets raped, they're going to probably get raped repeatedly. And it's fucked up. And I don't know what side of the tipping scales this shit started at, or why it is. It is. And I know that was one of the fucked up things, especially for the kids, man. Like, not to say that an adult deserves to get raped, because you may or may not have gotten yourself in said situation. Like, for instance, a woohoo girl that's super fucking annoying, gets super fucking drunk, and, you know, happens to suck up with dicks and gets passed around like a loose joint in prison. Like, not to say that you deserve to be abused, but if you're wearing barely what we considered a halter top and barely any draws, where your ass cheek was hanging out anyway, you put yourself in provocative positions, you know, probably could have been avoided, right? That's what I'm trying to say. So for a kid, again, who's held captive because they were literally stripped away from their parents, in most cases, in case they just came by themselves, which I guess probably gives a motherfucker even more reason, because they know they're going to be stuck in the system for a little bit longer, that, you know, they get taken advantage of. And again, and this is beyond the realms of the legal age of consent, because you're a fucking minor and you have no say. And to be taken advantage of someone who's supposed to be your protection, or in this case, your fucking guard, that's fucked up. Anyways, this bitch, Miss Martha McSally, she's very pro the wall and having this shit happen to these kids. And mind you, she didn't have that little kid raped, or in this case, these two cases, you know what I'm saying? But she's back in what we have set, and that seems to be all the focus. I didn't read, maybe I could have done some research on alternatives that they might be proposing, but that's not what I'm seeing. That's not what these paid for ad campaigns are promoting. So that just lets me know what's on your priority list. And she ain't shit. I'm sorry. That's the way I see that, because I think that's just the way that it is. Yo, and another fucked up thing, and again, it is just the way that it is, and like, we allow for it to happen. I don't know how, but we do, because I guess it's easier, right? We just ignore it. And this brings me over to the next topic I was trying to transition to, but let me just start really quickly. Ron DeSantis. So I don't want to give any kind of impression this motherfucker isn't white. He might be Italian. I'm not too sure. But he tells Florida not to monkey this up by electing Andrew Gillum. Now, y'all can do your Google, so y'all can click on the links below. Andrew Gillum, he's a brother trying to, he's a Democratic nominee, I should say, for Florida governors. And this past other day, I don't know where the fuck that email came from. All right, forgive me. During the appearance with Fox, and again, just trolling everything out, kind of on your ad campaign, he had thrown this shit out against the Democratic vote, and again, for lack of having to be Mr. fucking obvious, monkeying this up is a racial slur towards African Americans, and shit's so blatant, shit's so in your motherfucking face. It's mind-boggling that we're not offended by this. It's weird that we'll still see this in publications. And mind you, they don't sound against. I mean, mind you, fucking Fox News, so can they really be offended about racist shit? They say unless they're looking for clickbait. I mean, probably not. But anyways, I wanted to throw that out there because we got a lot of no fucks giving people running out for office. And as much as you might think, or as much as it's kind of known that, oh man, how can we change shit? You know, the top governments, it ain't shit. It's just for fucking, you know, fabrications and for, you know what I'm saying, for hoot and holler nannies. It's just to kind of get a rise. But at some point, though, it does matter. And it probably matters most in local government. Like truly, like that's where shit really is moving, and you know what I'm saying, things are getting done. And this is where it makes this so fucking important. You could look at it, ignore, and be like, nah, I don't want to deal with that shit. And that's probably what happens in most cases. But the little bit of motherfuckers that do vote, the little ones that actually give a shit, they're the ones that are making things happen. They're the ones that, you know, are moving things in their fucking favor. And just to, I guess, stay on the topic of Florida, because we know, and forgive me, all my people out there listening on that side of the East, y'all motherfuckers ain't shit. And again, I know it's probably the heat. That's what cooks me up and stir-fries me. You know, something like no other, but it's like, whew. And this past week, I know you heard about the shooting that happened in Jacksonville. Again, never quite figured out why the fuck this shit popped off. There was a Madden competition. So Madden 2019 just came out. They do these little things, they have competitions. It promotes the game. It gets motherfuckers to like it. To, you know what I'm saying? It's just promotion. Well, and then I'm gonna get to a dark theory of mine in just a little bit. But we lost 2 people, 2 gamers. One is named Eli True Boy Clayton, guess the race. Another one is Taylor Spot Me Please Robertson. Kind of sounds similar. But definitely there's a black and there's a white. And yeah, these 2, from my understanding, innocent bystanders got popped. And there's no rhyme or reason to it. And I don't know the motherfucker's name that shot him. I don't want to promote his name. Y'all could do Googles. I'm pretty sure y'all came across it. But at the same time, did anybody get a fucking answer as to why this shit was popping off? As to what the fuck had even, you know what I'm saying, led this shit to be? Because I'll be real with you. The conspiracy theorist motherfucker in me kind of thinks to me like that's part of the promotion. Like, we got to get a couple motherfuckers shot here in order to get some buzz. Because it's fucked up, especially for these games that come out yearly. Mind you, it must make its money if it's continuing to do this, you know, continuing to just be rolled out, promoted, engineered, all that shit. And that shit has to get stagnant. I don't remember the last time I even played one of these sort of games. I have no fucking interest. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of real life sports in general. At the same time, I don't want to waste $60 for something that's going to be old and lose its value that I can't even trade in because I got tired of it. You know what I'm saying? It don't make no sense to me. And I think, honestly, the only shit that changes is the rosters. I'm pretty sure this looks a little prettier than it did last year. But who gives a fuck? I don't know. I mean, it's all about gameplay. It's all about... What I'm trying to say is... it scares me that if we've gotten to the point, in order to promote something, in order to, you know, show some light, we got to also shed some lives. And you might, because I almost think to myself, like, oh, a fucking mass shooting and only 2 died. Like, oh, I guess it wasn't too bad, you know? Like, and then they made it well balanced. 1 black guy and then 1 white guy. And he was a father of a baby, you know? So it's like, oh, there's a heartfelt story. I mean, of course, there's a fucking story behind everything. And I'm not trying to sound cold-hearted or anything like that, but it makes me wonder, like, I wonder if these shits are planned like this. And it breaks my heart if that's the case. But we have such dumb fuckery that makes money. Why fault them? I mean, obviously they're fucking guilty and you should throw the book at them, but like, why, you know, why should we care? You know, because it did what it needed to do. You know, we're overpopulated, you know, and we sold a couple more copies. It was only 2. You know, we could have killed a lot more. We only killed 2. Like, that's fucked up. And mind you, maybe I'm fucked up for thinking that, but at the same time, I can't comprehend, you know? I just can't compute. That's the thing. Same thing with I never even heard of this motherfucker. I know I'm going to throw out his name out here, but he did, so it don't matter too much. A YouTube star by the name of McSally. Never fucking heard of him. I don't even plan on YouTubing him. Y'all can, if y'all want, depending on how bored you is. After you listen to this, hopefully, in its entirety. But this motherfucker was driving down the wrong way. I think it was on the freeway. And he killed a mom and her 12-year-old. Now, I'm waiting for there to be some motherfucking video of this kid. I don't know if his name is Dominic Pizarro.
I don't know. That might have been the folks that were in the other car. I don't fucking know. I should do some more research. But this shit just pissed me off in general because when I heard there was a YouTube star, I'm just thinking to myself, this dumb fuck was filming a vlog, probably kind of like on some stupid prank shit, going down the wrong way, seeing who could freak out. And he caught the motherfucking bitch that wasn't paying attention. Or not that she wasn't paying attention, but she has a fucking kid probably yelling at his ass for being a little motherfucker. Because kids can be little motherfuckers. And this older than normal motherfucker that happened to have his own car and a YouTube channel was probably filming some stupid shit. And it cost people their lives. And as much as I don't want to talk about it, because I just, you know what I'm saying, I'm bringing it up, right? So why the fuck wouldn't I? It's one of those things that it's so asinine. It's so ridiculous. I feel like we keep talking like this and shit keeps happening like this, and it doesn't even, and I'm gonna bring up 3D printed guns in a little bit, but it's not even about fucking weapons, because we can fucking obliterate people in so many other fucking ways. That's just a cherry on the motherfucking cake. And again, it's just scary, because what does this lead to? What does this continue with? Is this going to cause patterns? Because sometimes it does. I mean, fucking, I'm sure Google Analytics can fucking reveal that shit. I mean, shit. I'm not going to get into technology news, but just real quick tidbit. Google and I forget who the fuck else, they're trying to predict like weather patterns, or not weather patterns, fucking earthquake patterns, and how, you know, hard it's gonna hit, and you know how like they're with the technology is there, so we can sense, we can predict shit already. We can damn near predict the weather, right? 50% of the time, which I guess isn't the best of odds, but still, right? Anyways, just fuckery. That's all. It's just fuckery. There's patterns. People do this shit. It continues, you know. And for example, like when you see the red Magga hat, for y'all that don't know what the Magga or Major, whatever the fuck it's found, the Make America Great Again shit. When you see that fucking hat, you think, oh, that's a racist fuck, or oh, that's an asshole, right? Well, in this and I'm trying to figure out what fucking part of El Dorado, I think it was in Maine, or it sounds Texan. I gotta double check on that shit really quickly. But some kid in high school, some teenager, snatched off a Magga hat off of a classmate's head. Motherfucker got hit with some battery charges. Now, mind you, he did it twice, and he had been to fucking slap the hand out of a teacher, which is where he fucked up. But you see that fucking hat, all I could think of is bigotry. All I can see is blood. You know, all I can see is Trump, the campaign, all the fuckery that bullshit standed for. And I mean, the campaign and the whole movement, what have you. So it's not hard to believe that when a kid, you know, we can guess the race, but regardless, everyone should be shooked every time they see something like that. You know, they're gonna feel some sort of way. You know, it ain't gonna be fucking giggles and smiles unless you're a very ironic hipster that, you know, can play both sides. Regardless, you know, some fuckery happening. And yeah, that's, again, you can't front someone for wanting to do something, but you also got to play your cards right. You don't fucking smack the teacher's hand, because then they smack your ass. And that's why you're getting hit with battery charges. But again, could have been worse, because he could have shot a motherfucker. And we know, as I'm hoping y'all been hearing or reading about, the 3D printed guns. At first, they were told to stay off the internet, because like thousands beyond thousands of folks had downloaded this shit and, you know, figure out how to do it. And it's very dangerous, right? You can get past metal detectors. It can be sorted out. I mean, you can ruin a whole lot. You can fuck a lot of shit up with these things. And then after the judge had granted that they've been removed from the internet, like literally shortly after, blueprints then became okay to sell. Okay, well, figure if we sell them, then we can have a bill of sale, and then we can somehow trace. And yeah, seems like a good whatever fuck. I don't know. But they're back online again. And now for a small fee or whatever the fuck you want to pay, I don't know, I didn't look into it, yeah, they're available. And I feel like that's some of the most dangerous shits we can ever fucking have. Of course, we're going to fucking put a price on it so we can tax it, because why not? That makes everybody money. But at the same time, what the fuck's it going to do? What's it going to cost? How accessible are these going to be to local fucks, you know, playing Chief Keef, bang, 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 bang on the streets? That's
to be seen, and that's probably the scariest part because we don't know when that's gonna happen. So in another fucked up turn of events, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know if y'all heard about this or not, but there's a 9-year-old boy who had committed suicide after he got bullied for coming out. Now, supposedly, according to his mother, who, and I wish that they would have gave a bit more information. Mind you, I know this is personal, I know this is terrible, it's a tragedy, but they fucking released his name, Jamel Miles. Mother, and it's funny that, did they give her that bitch's name? Okay, Leah Pierce, broken home. And she had gone on to say that her 9-year-old boy had come out to her over the summer, which I feel like that's young to be coming out, to know about sexuality. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure, because I've had lady friends who've had nephews where you just see them prance around and talk, and you wonder, like, I wonder if they're going to be gay when they get older. Mind you, not a bad thing, not a good thing, just, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just wonder, like, oh, these signs are showing, you know? Like, it's not even like, oh, he loves fucking hot dogs. No, it's just, you know, he's a little bit spicy. He's a little bit, you know what I'm saying? What's the word? Flamboyant. And looking at pictures of the boy, I mean, you can see it, right? But at the same time, like, it could be a happy little boy. At the same time, you look at his last name, her last name, the fact that they ain't together more than likely, you probably think, oh, maybe it was a broken home situation. Then again, what came first, chicken or the egg? And that might not have nothing to do with it, but what I am curious about is how the fuck this little boy, 9 years old, and I can understand being sad about life and being bullied, but how the fuck does a little 9-year-old commit suicide? I mean, mind you, sometimes I've had to chase my baby who's under 2 years of age when he fucking gets cords in plastic bags and does some suspect shit where I'm like, oh, hey, cut that out, right? But at the same time, it's because he don't know no better. Someone who knows a little better, I mean, I guess they're capable of more. But it still makes me wonder, like, how the fuck he did it, right? Little kids don't know the head on the oven trick. Like, you know what I'm saying? I wish they would have said. I wish, you know, I don't know what kind of difference that would make, but at least there'd be some understanding of this. And one of the things that they're doing, which I'm glad at the school, you know, they're giving counseling, you know, for those in grief that are grieving. But at the same time, how do you bring that up to younger kids? Do you tell them that? Like, I have no idea if they had mentioned that, if they had to fucking make an announcement. Jamel Miles died yesterday. He committed suicide. Suicide for kids, if you don't have your dictionary with you, is when you kill yourself. And it was because it was gay. For those that don't know what gay is when you like, you know, how do you explain that shit to such youngins? How do you do that? How do you express that? Where do you start? And so I could definitely believe this is a fucked and tragic time, and it's sad that someone so young had to do that. Like, because maybe they're too young to know that things can get better. Too young to know that, dude, there's so many gays out there. You're gonna have a great fucking time. Like, it hurts. It hurts not knowing and not being able to help in any fucking way that's helpful, right? Like, it's oxymoron. So let me flip things up a little bit. On a lighter note, there's been some heavy petting on the plane. And I was kind of thinking to myself, like, yo, I wonder if this would be like a good comeback for snakes on the plane. If y'all don't understand what I'm talking about, get the gist, or been watching the news, there's been more reports of motherfuckers being sexually assaulted on airplanes. Now, that's fucked up because it's scary as it is, especially if you get nauseated or the turbulence fucks you up, or, you know, you're worried about being a Richie Valens without any talent. Like, it's fucked. And I know not too recently I reported on something where I think there was a husband, he had some random bitch to his left, his wife to the right, or vice versa, and he started, you know, finger banging the one he didn't know, and, you know, she had reported some things, and it happens a lot apparently, and it freaked me out because, well, actually, at least from what it seems like, and now this is the self-righteous Republican talking here, because it's a motherfucking foreigner not being able to chill the fuck out. Something with Middle Eastern descent. Reza Poor,
And I just want to guess going on a Norwegian flight from London, so I can't exactly. Actually, no, that was a Reservoir one. So there's a few of them out there. Y'all can do your Googles, but I started cracking up in a way because it always starts with the person being at the window seat in between, which you're real fucking lucky if that happens, or you're not fucking squished like sardines. And then it, I guess in one particular case, the Reservoir one, this bitch was nauseated from the flight. She took some medication, probably popped a Xanny or two, had it with some wine. Dude caught that, bought her some more wine, and apparently was finger banging the bitch, which he had kept covered up with the jacket. His excuse was that it was, consensual, which I don't know. Like, it's been a while since I've had to do that. Like, I can understand foreplay, but it's like, no, I'm not using a finger. I'm going to either lick it or I'm going to put my dick in it, right? I don't see the point in using fingers anymore. Stick your fingers. And I remember that being like a school thing, unless you gotta, get the motor running somehow. So I don't know. And I never understood what people got pleasure in that as far as the party doing the work. Unless, you're a lesbian and you get off on getting others off, whatever the fuck. Anyways, that ain't the point. That ain't what I'm trying to say. But there's cases like this. And again, this, because there was just two recently that at least made the news that I witnessed. And it's sad that it always comes down to, he say, she say shit. And in this other story, this lady, and this is on an Alaskan Airlines, dude was some Stevens, probably a white man, more than likely, because he didn't take no for an answer against this 22-year-old girl who gave him a lot of fucking chances to chill the fuck out. He was even hitting her with, I kill animals, who would I have to kill to get with you? So I'm guessing white. But regardless, like, it's just a scary fucking thought to, just want to catch a couple fucking Z's to either not feel the commotion or to rest because you got to do this, and that, get up fucking early. Like, and then just for that shit to pop, like, if, man, you ain't safe on the streets, you ain't safe in the skies, like, it's terrible. It's funny. It's fucked up. And then there's mystery. And I'm not too sure if y'all caught this. I'm hoping y'all have it. I'm hoping when I'm telling you something like, oh shit, I can't believe I missed it. But, but I can't win them all. But there's this story, and there's actually been a few of these just kind of scary. And you might have seen it done real scarily like on your local news network where what would you do if your doorbell rang at 3 o'clock in the morning? It shows some panicky motherfucker on the other side, which obviously something's going on. It made me think, like, what the fuck would you be doing if some random fucking person... Now, it kind of sounds like a porno when I think about it at the very beginning, because they usually look pretty hot. So some random bitch, barely wearing anything, knocks on your door, rings the doorbell, screaming help. You might want to be that knight in shining armor, offer her some hot cocoa, maybe slip her a Xanny, and, and have a real nice night. But beyond all that fuckery, forgive me, it does make me wonder, like, what the fuck are they doing? Either they're in danger, or they're about to get me in danger, or both, and you either don't want to fucking let them in, or you feel like, what the fuck can you do, right? Because you don't fucking know them. You don't know if this is just a ploy, an ambush, a fucking ruse to get you out or to get them in, and who knows if they got the house surrounded, and that's why surveillance is heavily important, but you don't fucking know. And while you're trying to discern this shit, she can get blasted right in front of you. She, you know what I'm saying? Or they, or whatever the hell the thing is. And who knows what could pop off from there. Obviously, when some shit like that happens, have your fucking phone. Shit, I don't like to leave the bedroom with me without my phone. Because you might need that flashlight. You might need to make that call. If you're really fucked, you might need to make that text. And luckily, some police departments actually allow for text messages to be sent out to them. But what fucked me up in this particular case, again, there's been a few of these, but luckily this was captured by one of those Ring doorbells, which I know they fucking ring, but the company Ring, they have like a surveillance video. And I guess the Montgomery Sheriff's Department released some of this here. Because back, and I'm not too sure, it was last week or the week before, but there was the Texas doorbell woman that, again, people were talking about, that was captured. And what tripped me out, because not only was she panicking, which is sign number one of holy shit was going on, this bitch looked like she had some restraints on her. Like, I couldn't tell if they were ties, like suit and tie. And they're, around her hand. Maybe she might have having some rough sex. Maybe she just might have been fucking chained to a goddamn radiator, a la Black Snake Moan. She barely had a t-shirt, or it was a t-shirt and some very skimpy shorts. Like, it makes you wonder, what the fuck was she doing? What was she running from? And why was her opportune time to escape at fucking 3:20 in the a.m.? Well, apparently a lady recognized this bitch and said that it was her ex-husband's mistress or something like that, according to they're putting here Mr. Collins' ex-wife, because I guess they see, this is the fucked up thing about it. And I guess I got to back the fuck up, but there was a death of someone named Dennis Ray Collins. He had committed suicide by shooting himself after this video had gone out. So again, who the fuck knows where the fuck she's at? And, actually, no, they say that she's been, because she's part of ongoing domestic violence, because they want to release her name, but there's fucking very substantial evidence. When I was getting the full fucking story, that this man, Mr. Dennis Ray Collins, is who done it, because again, he fucking shot himself. And I guess it all started because his ex-wife had told police that she recognized the woman in the video, and it was her ex-husband's girlfriend. So again, guessing that there might have been a pattern in exes. I wonder if he just couldn't let this one go until she literally had to let herself go. And so again, I'm glad that she's safe. I wish, and this is the gossiping bitch in me, I'm like, I wish I knew all the details, because, do tell. Like, what the fuck happened? How did it start? Why the fuck did you have ropes on you? Like, was it just a freaky night that just ended up not going anywhere? Like, I don't get it. Again, I could only have naughty dreams about it. But at the same fucking time, like, how scary is that? And I would hope that any time that some shit like this were to pop off, that we can take it upon ourselves to do all that we can to be the best that we can. Matter of factly, I can't release exactly, again, what areas of government I work for, but there's a fake bomb threat, as it normally is. And this time around, it made it to where we had to vacate the building. And as fun as I thought that would have been, it wasn't fun hanging outside. And again, we have weather that ranges anywhere from 110 to 120 or more. So understand just how terrible it is down here. It's beautiful in the wintertime, because we don't get seasons. We don't get fall. We get summer and winter. But anyways, again, I love it a lot. But this fucking heat. Like, if you ain't got an AC, you might as well not be living. But again, we were stuck outside. Luckily, someone from another office had the fucking bright idea to ask our neighbors that was a school, if we can chill inside. And I didn't know it at the time. I was thinking there's some good-ass Samaritans that happen to have fucking staff fully ready to walk us to a classroom and to bring us water, and very hospitable. I wish I could give more details on that. But it almost seemed like a setup. So again, this is your blazing toke boy conspiracy theorist thinking to myself everything is a fucking setup. But I was thinking to myself, I'm like, man, how they know about this? How do they have staff able to walk us in, direct us to turn corners, and get us into these empty-ass classrooms where we can fucking chill and wait for, things to die down till we can, eventually get the okay to go back? And then they brought us water with ice and offered to buy us some pizza. I'm thinking, what kind of Michael Jackson trick to drink the Jesus juice is this shit? What am I being set up for? What's happening? Is this a PR stunt? And it's terrible to think that people would be of that mind, but apparently they didn't know. They just happened to jump at the foot. And that's the point that I'm trying to get to, because I know as this was happening, I wanted to be all I could be. I was like, yo, where do we know the next step is? I was the one talking to security, trying to make sure we get word. And like my direct management was looking at me like, yo, chill out. We don't got to do that. But I think somebody got to, though. Luckily, somebody had beat me to it already. But at the same time, it's like, I want to be, I don't want to be a hero. I don't want to be, get my little 15 minutes, unless that's what little 15 minutes gets this fucking show off the foot. I don't know. But I wanted to be able to help. And, at least
so people wouldn't fucking trip. Then I wouldn't have to sit around a bunch of mopey bitch ass faces, because, you know what I'm saying, work with a bunch of bitches that just, it breaks my heart. That's what it does. And, you know, I just figured, I'm killing so many birds, you know what I'm saying? And Lord knows I love to kill as many birds as possible with as little amount of stone needed, right? So I just would hope that in any situation that you might get caught up in, and mind you, this is something totally different than, you know, getting someone come at your fucking house at 3 o'clock in the morning, because that's just scary. You might not be all the way coherent. You might have just been winding down high off your ass. Like, who knows? And it makes me think of scripture where, you know, the Bible says, like, you know, and I'm not going to try to hit you with some 4 thighs and shit like that, but you never know when it's time to do something. You never know when God's gonna be there. You never know when some shit's gonna pop off. You know what I'm saying? We know not the day, nor the time, nor anything. And, you know, shit comes at you like a thief in the night. You didn't fucking see it coming. So I would hope that, we can be ready. And as corny as it sounds, you know, wanting to have the armor of God on us, truly, you know what I'm saying? Oh, my breastplate can be of truth. Hope that my sword, which is my word, which is my tongue, can be sharp and also vigilant and not stuttering. You know what I'm saying? Moses was a stuttering motherfucker. If it wasn't for God giving him that peace and calm, motherfucker would understand what the fuck he was talking about. You know, so I just would hope that for any of y'all that get in position like that y'all can keep to it and can stay with it and not let go, and to be on point. And while I'm throwing some Boy Scout shit, for whatever reason, Warren Buffett, y'all might know or may not know, y'all can do your Googles, but he has a fake Twitter account. Not too sure why or how, but he gives life advice. And he be dropping some gems, apparently, and only has 53 tweets since 2016, but a lot of shit's been gone viral. And there's been some cool things that I guess just common sense, a little bit of life lessons, you know, wouldn't fucking hurt to do still kind of things. Kind of want to read just a few of them. Just like I feel like it kind of correlates and segues into Good Samaritan shit. Like, again, the school that harbored all those motherfuckers. And it was so funny, too, because as we're walking down the hallways, mind you, this is a school for people of all ages, you know, extracurricular. I don't want to say too much. But motherfuckers in my, not directly in my office, but people I work amongst, were fucking being loud on some coonery shit, and there ain't that many black folks, so understand this is just straight up ignorance. And they're just like, you don't know how the fuck to be quiet where you're walking down a goddamn school hallway. Motherfuckers are trying to learn, and we could be so lucky to not be in the goddamn sun, right? So anyways, some motherfuckers don't have some common sense, which is why I'm going to read this real basic list. Maybe it's about 10 of them, and we'll keep it at that. But top number 1, saying thank you. Yo, sometimes saying thank you can mean the world to someone, as small as it is, as menial, as not one bit of actually putting in on what just was given. You know what I'm saying? It can mean a lot, you know, especially if it's said, you know what I'm saying, with fullness and with trueness and honesty. Another one is apologizing when you're wrong. A lot of times, please believe, it's so easy to dig yourself in a deeper and deeper hole, and I feel like do that on a regular basis if you want to pull up each episode, but just on a daily, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes so much goes for apologizing, stopping, and hopefully trying to right it, you know, or at least do better in the next time. Another one is showing up on time. Yo, whether it's an offer-up sale that your ass getting to work, like, be on time. Be early, that's on time, right? Because once you're on time, you're late because you're barely getting settled in. It might take your ass a minute. Just being on time can mean so much. You respect not only others that are around you, that are participating in it, but just the act in itself. Another one is be nice to strangers. Yo, you never know who you're dealing with, who you're speaking to, or who you fucking with. Like, you just don't know. And that could be good karmatically or bad, you know. But another one is listening without interrupting. One of the things that fucks me up so much, and I I get real embarrassed when I do it too, and I'm so ready just to kind of give my retort. Not even done yet. They might say something that might change your fucking mind, and your ass so eager to fucking speak. Like, just like when I watch The View, like, these bitches don't know how to take turns. Like, it's common sense, I thought, but who knows? Another one is admitting when you're wrong. Again, there's apologizing for it, but there's also admitting it, because you can get away with shit, but you're kind of cheating yourself, you're cheating them, and, you know, how can you really progress and learn unless you can come to that full realization? Number 7, funny, 7 being a lucky number, and probably the one that's the hardest, is following your dreams. You know, I'm at the point right now, as I'm talking to you, I've been wanting so badly to get into broadcast, to, you know what I'm saying, be some kind of content creator where I can use my creative juices, because it ain't for the government. I'll tell you that. A matter of fact, let me tell you really quickly, I got in trouble for saying dookie. Now, mind you, dookie isn't the most, you know what I'm saying, corrective word when referring to getting rid of biohazardous waste. It's not the best when saying you got to use the potty, or you got to use the restroom, you know what I'm saying, whatever makes you sound like an adult. I said dookie. I said, hey, I got to relieve dude because he got to go dookie. They're just trying to be funny. I didn't realize I was going to fucking rustle the goddamn feathers, bitch. And yeah, I guess it didn't hurt that with this bomb threat I tried making hashtag fake bomb threat 2018 a thing, but still, like, I'm just trying to bring some comedy in a very boring, mundane work environment. But again, everything has its place. And if I were following my dreams, I wouldn't be doing it in the motherfucking where I am. I'd be doing it on motherfucking stage. So that's the biggest, hardest one for me right there, and I hope that God can bless that somehow, some which way, being a mentor. A lot of times I look back at when I was younger, and I'm thinking maybe like early high school days. I used to kick it with the OGs, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Those that had some years on me. I didn't do it on purpose. It just happens to be that maybe I'm an old soul. Maybe I just was lucky and was in the smart class before they figured out that I wasn't so smart, and I was with the older fucks. But I always kicked it with the older cats, and I felt like that they put me on game. I was hopefully usually able to learn from their fuck-ups and their mistakes, but at the same time, able to just learn a lot more. So all the more do I feel best that you should pass that same thing along, you know what I'm saying? Pay it forward, so to speak. And, you know, and teach. That's the back in the day, that was the most important thing you can have, and that you can pass on to your kids and your grandkids and your great grandkids, is all the stories, tidbits, hints, tips, and tricks for you to be able to make it in this fucking life that sometimes seems unbearable. So I don't doubt that. Another thing, and I realize this when I see interviews, but it also helps because I feel real bad. When I first started the job I was lucky that I got showed off. They took me to all these little things. Oh, look, this is our new so-and-so. So, hey. So every now and again, every time I'm walking by, luckily, if they're not in a bitchy mood, I'll get, hey, good morning. I won't say my government name. Hey, so Papo, what's happening? Hey, it was good. Good afternoon, good morning. Happy to see you. Hope your day goes well. You know, I hit them with that. And learning and using people's names is very important. Not only does it make them feel better, but also they're acknowledged. They're not just a fucking face. And again, when networking, when getting along, with just doing whatever, it can mean a whole lot. And I know when it comes down to doing my prayers, whenever I'm not being a selfish prick, and I remember to pray, and I think of all the people in the day who I feel need it, some who I feel deserve it, some who, you know, I might have forgotten about for whatever fucking reason they put in my heart. Like, it's good to have their name. I know. You figure God can mind read, but it's good to know, right? It's good to fucking kind of throw that shout out there. How the fuck you gonna at them, right? I don't know. And definitely not for government sort of events or any kind of place where you have high security, but in the normal circumstances, hold the door open, yo. Especially, I mean, obviously, they're carrying a fuck ton of shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got a potluck going on. You don't want to be a prick, having them fucking figure it out. But it's just so courteous. And, you know, I always thought it was a gentleman thing to do. Oh, here you go, ladies. It was not me trying to lick ass or kick ass, kiss ass, what ass is. But, you know, it's just a gentlemanly thing to do. I mean, it sucks when you're in a fucking hurry. please believe not a fucking soul means shit to me when I gotta get there and I'm about to fucking pass the threshold or whatever fucking time is gonna cost me something. You know, it's just courtesy. What the fuck happened to courtesy? I don't know where that died. I think it might have gone with chivalry. I don't fucking know. This is Trump era. We give no shits. Give no shits. Did I say mention give no shits? Yeah, and not give any shits. One thing that I try not to give it any more thought than what it does already. And it's fucked up that it happens so often, and I definitely know it's not the culture, but the effects of the culture that start this shit. Catholic Church, sexual molestation, it's fucked. It's not funny. You know, I mean, we can make fun of the Catholics all we want, but you know what I'm saying? It's a shitty situation. Archbishop had claimed that Pope Francis, who's the current pope right now in 2018, he's like an earthquake for the church. Now, a lot of people want to get him to resign, like that's going to fucking happen. They're, of course, mighty salty about, again, all the sexual abuses that have been coming out. So they're saying this one cat in particular, and he might be from, I hope it's in Argentina, because I know there's been a couple of them. Cardinal Theodore McCarrick, might be from Ireland. I don't know. I actually just visited Ireland. But this cat had confessed to the Pope. The Pope been at it more than 5 years? I don't remember. But it's been known, right? He admitted. He apparently must have been forgiven. When you acknowledge your sin, you would hope that as long as you're not doing it again, that, all things are forgiven, right? You learned your error, your ways. Hopefully, you didn't have to kill the kid to silence him. Hopefully, you didn't fuck him up too badly. Hopefully, there was something good done there. I don't know. I don't know who keeps track besides God. Or until the end of the days happen. I don't know who the fuck can, keep all this shit fresh in the memory bank of details and stats. But, people wanted Pope Francis, to cut it out because he knew about shit. But at the same time, can you imagine all the knowledge and all the things that these people hear? They can't condemn them all because who the fuck are we, right? Unless you're an honorary judge. But, only God can judge. So these people who are playing, I don't even want to say little Jesus and Mohammedans, but, who are recharging and sharpening and cleansing, the community. Like, these people aren't going to want to... I mean, imagine how much trust would you have in the guy who happens to bust every motherfucker that admits you to. I don't think I'm going to want to confess to that guy. He sounds like a snitch. Like, as fucked as all that is, it's just... Knowledge comes from that, I'm probably getting lost in train of thought. Hold on now. Text message fucked me up. Going back to how this shit started, or at least how I imagine, to think, and not to say this is how gay shit pops off, but I'm wondering when a priest does some gay shit, not to say it'd make it any fucking better for the fondle little girl, it makes me wonder why the fuck is always a little boy? Maybe because they have altar boys, right? And so that means always around little boys. So that means that urges happen, like, and when you're a priest, I don't know if you have to commit to not having any kind of sexual life. Like, I don't know, you can't be married. I don't know why the fuck they feel like they gotta follow Peter. Like, if you can't be with another person, then I can understand that. Call that what it is. But don't think that because you're carrying the cloth that you can't because of that. No. Because we have desires, and unless you're asexual, I don't think you should be a fucking priest or what have you, because then you're easily swayed. And that's how temptation comes. Temptation doesn't come from the devil, it comes from your ass, because you can be at an opportune time, and it's tempting to you. That's where the temptation comes from, not any other fucking thing. I mean, sure, spirits can get involved, and they can tickle, razzle-dazzle, but ultimately they're only stirring the spirit that you yourself have. So when you look at it like that, they put themselves in situations and they hurt themselves for lack of a better word, hurting themselves, spanking themselves. choking it like it owes them money. I mean, I don't know. Or maybe they do. And now they get off on everything. I don't know what triggers this. I don't know what pushes this. You can call it a disease. You can just call it all around fuckery. But we don't put that on God. God ain't fucking fond those little kids. They just happen to be motherfuckers that work for him. Her, Holy Mother, whatever the occasion calls for. But it messed me up to know that we still got that shit popping off. How can we ever keep people strong in faith when we have such shitty representation? You know? And it makes me feel super guilty because, like, man, I'm trying to work smarter, not harder. And how the fuck can I fault my kids for not fucking listening? You know, it's a catch-22 if that motherfucker had a double-handed glove to it. Whatever that means. I did want to mention, though, really quickly, before I end this off and give us some good old distractions to, you know what I'm saying, occupy us with, occupy Wall Street. And part of that is, you know, and it was mentioned how dude had said that this Pope, he's like an earthquake to the church. And when I think of earthquake, I mean, I think the world shaking. I feel like the very foundation beneath us is rocking. Some things fall within the cracks to never be seen, hopefully. And some, you know, obviously then come later on to bite some asses. For lack of a better term of phrase, for good and for worse, of that term analogy, being an earthquake of the church, like, man, sometimes that's exactly what we need. As fucked up, as inconvenient, as costly as all this shit is, at the same time, it's like we need to rock the boat. I mean, even though the song says don't rock the boat, don't tip the boat over, at the same time, if we don't like what's going on the ship, why the fuck not? You know, same reason why, you know, fucking J. Cole's too high to ride. I'm too high to ride. No shit. But can you imagine if we were to come together? If we were to try to change things? If we were to try to bring things to the best possible way that it can be, to truly shine light in all of its glory? Like, man, but we'd all have to be working, wouldn't we? So when the New Testament said, you know, the work is plentiful, the workers are few. Man, there's a whole lot we can eat on, but motherfuckers don't want to carry the mantle. They don't want to do what they can. They don't want to be all that they can be. And what scares me, though, because this would be chaos, but it's needed. And what's scary, even if you're the worst, you be the worst that you can be, bitch. Do it. Do it. And then if you fucking rustle any feathers, fucking inflate anythings, may that shit be the thing to stop you. Sounds fucking retarded. Forgive me. But, you know, if it takes evil to yin for yang good, then good, right? And I think that's the misconception that we have with God and the universe and the way shit works and that it rotates is it is a yin for yang. It is a tit for tat. It is a pro and con and any other metaphorical shits I can think of, but I don't got a thesaurus or access to the internet because I'm just talking to you. It takes that rattle, right? It's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it requires for us to be fucking backed into a goddamn wall where I mean it. It's a goddamned wall. But you don't want that to stop you. You'd be damned if this damn thing tell you what you can not damn or damn not do. I don't know what I'm saying. But I feel like I do. Or I hope that you do. That's the most important part. Even if I don't get it, I hope that you do. Get it?
Oh, good. I can deal with that. Right, the jerk. He's burning the tip just a little right here.
Just the tip.
This all sounds strange.
Always on top. This tip and top stuff is just a little too much.
Oh my God, it's just too hot.
All right, so now it's time for some motherfucking entertainment news. And y'all, this is probably my favorite segment because it's the only thing that means anything to me because the world is so terrible. But I wanted to mention, and I'm not too sure if y'all keeping up with Sacha Baron Cohen, motherfucker known from Bruno and Borat. And I figure if I just clog my nose, that sounds a little Asian. I don't fucking know. But you know what I'm talking about. Ali G.
he has a show where he's been getting motherfuckers to slip up. I mentioned this before it might have been his 4th episode. It had some kind of governor from Georgia. Got him to say sand nigger a shit ton of times. Even did some gay butt shit to keep Muslims away. It was ridiculous. Sacha Baron Cohen is a genius. He tried to trip up my boy Joe Arpaio, who's just a savage beast of a man out here in Arizona. Big enough, supposedly toughest sheriff in all the country. Reason why the motherfucker took him to go poke fun at him. And most recently, for the grand finale, this motherfucker played some kind of Italian playboy, and he had O.J. Simpson. It was so fucking awkward because he was trying so hard to, get him to slip up about killing the bitch. Because mind you, he already did the time for it. He already got away for it. Like, I'm not too sure with the statute of limitations if he can't talk about it. Maybe, hopefully, one day we will get that. It'll probably be in a book or a movie or something that he can, monetize off of. But you figure right now will be the time. Mind you, I only saw clips of it. It was so fucking awkward. I don't have HBO to watch the whole thing, but I saw clips of it. And it's worth y'all doing some Googles or looking at the links below, because I will have a snippet that I was able to catch from it. So fucking awkward. And this motherfucker just has balls like he does. And I feel like OJ had to know something about it, because he was just way too suave. Unless, think about it, he's been dealing with this shit past, 20, going on 30 years? I don't fucking know. It's been a minute. And so, yeah, that was that. If y'all didn't peep it out, please do. Another thing was Miss Katy Perry, she denied accusations that Dr. Luke, who's a very renowned pop producer, had raped her. Now, this all stems from Kesha, crying wolf and throwing her under the bus. And mind you, Me Too happens everywhere. And this definitely was before that fad came out. At least I think. I can't really remember nowadays. But I remember it was a big deal because when you're a young artist and, you get passed around, like I mentioned earlier, fucking loose joint in prison, you know what I'm saying? Everyone wants to take their puff. Shit. Dr. Dre had Rihanna at age 10. So who knows this bitch been, how long she been an Illuminati princess, or probably since age 10 or whenever period happened. I don't know. Well, got grass in the field. However it goes. It's terrible. I don't promote it. Don't necessarily like it, but it is what it is. And it's scary, and it's kind of fucked up because there's some who are with it, some who can ride, some that can't. And I don't give no fucks about Kesha. I'll tell you that straight up. Never liked her. I appreciate that she has a song called Prayers, but I didn't get nothing from it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't feel the spirit in it. Hopefully you did. I didn't. So again, I don't care for her. But I do care that she tried to expose these cats. And, you know what I'm saying? They're crying, dumb, drunk bitch that wakes up with a bottle of Jack feeling like P. Diddy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know who's to judge her off that shit. But when she went down swinging, calling other people out. And Miss Katy Perry, at one point, she was a nobody. No offense. I think she's always been sexy and pretty. And, I've been with Miss Katy Perry well beyond the years of me being obsessed with this local butch softcore softball deck. Well before being infatuated by this bro who looks similar to her. I was rocking with Miss Katy Perry when I'm pretty sure she had done shit to the church, because she was in fucking POD videos. I don't know if y'all fuck with POD, payable on debt or payable on death. It was a South Cal, maybe new metal, not so much type band that then leaned more Christian, which is kind of a mouthful, but they're pretty dope. Sonny was a dope lead singer, you know what I'm saying? I loved it when he had dreads. I don't know what's up now. I remember Carlos, who had left and then came back, was an ill fucking Spanish guitarist. The big brother with the dreads, I remember him. I think Tommy or something, David, something Christian, was the cousin of Sonny. He was a drummer. It was a dope band. I recommend listening to, I'm trying to think of a favorite album, but I didn't discover them to Satellite. I remember fucking MTV's TRL had What was the song before Euthanation? We Are? No. Alive? Yo, it's just, look them up if y'all don't remember them. Mind you, they might be a little bit dated, timely, but that don't mean, hopefully you can feel something from them. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is once they climbed the ladder of pop stardom, before they got off wherever it is they got off at, Katy Perry was in one of the music videos singing in the backgrounds. You would have never fucking known she didn't get a artist credit, on the song. She just happened to do background vocals. She was an up and comer, I guess. I don't know exactly. I don't know if Atlanta Records was shopping her around, because I know that's where POD was signed to before. Maybe they went indie. I'm not too sure. Or maybe once they came out Christian, motherfuckers like, nope, we can't fuck with you. We don't want to be stuck in a box. But shit, that's a big demographic. So, anyways, Katy Perry again denying allegations, and hopefully it's not true. But again, at the same point, you do what you got to do to get in where you want to fit in, and sometimes that makes making real shitty choices. And again, I'm not promoting it, I'm not allowing it, I don't want to give it any sort of glory, but some people do, and she may not want to bite the hand that feeded her, or continues to feed her, or makes her hits. I don't fucking know. I haven't read her linear notes in a good minute, but that's been popping off, and that's pretty shitty for Kesha, who needs backup right now, who needs someone to kind of voice and vouch that, hey, this shit's happening. And I guess in a fucked up segue, just how they fucking banded together and got Louis C.K.'s ass, off of doing comedy for a good while. If y'all remember hearing about Louis C.K., comedian, writer, I don't know if he had just got on his director's tip when he was trying to promote this movie that ended up fucking pulling the plug on. But he ended up showing his dick to a couple of people, supposedly to fellow comedian chicks who thought that they were friends and that, nothing was to become or they had to fear. And, I don't know how aggressive a freckled dick is, but, like, it shouldn't have pissed you off. Mind you, it'd be a little bit weird if someone's jerking off in front of you and, obviously you wait there until they finish and then you leave and cuss them the fuck out, or maybe they like it all at once. I don't fucking know. I wasn't there. I don't condone. I don't approve. This is just what happened. And, well, anyways, the reason why I bring him up, because, again, he had that scandal. He was gone for a while. After 10 months, he's back doing comedy. And it's funny, the internet's either aren't ready for it or like, oh yeah, what happened to him? So it's like, is it eventually just let shit cool off for a while and I get back to work? Because sometimes when shit's heavy, it's heavy. And you do got to fall the fuck back. And I think that's a big life lesson. I don't know where it's going to come back from it. So far in his... I guess in his outings, he hasn't really mentioned the scandal. I feel like you have to, but he might be saving that for the fucking DVD or the Netflix special or whatever the fuck major comes next. And I'm curious about it, though, because I'm just like, well, what do? You know what I'm saying? Wow, when shit like that pops off. And I love what Dave Chappelle said most about these two girls who he was quoting them saying that, that this broke their spirit and that because of, him showing his dick, she doesn't know if they can make it in the game. And with all the era of bitches getting literally raped, for you to not be able to see a dick proves you have a brittle spirit. And you probably can't take much. Which I guess would go to show that gay men are probably the toughest of them all because they could take, a couple hard dicks, right? So, God bless you. And, God bless the situation with Angelina and Brad Pitt. As I mentioned before, they made news, subject clicks because of her talking shit, saying that he hasn't paid truthful or route amounts of alimony, which I thought was weird because I forget how she phrased it. I said in the episode back or two how she said it in some fucking weird way, and Brad Pitt then firing back saying that she said meaningful. That's the word. She said meaningful alimony, or was it the child support? Because she might not get alimony, she might just get child support. Anyways,
come to find out, because she recently switched counsel, and that's where whoever the fuck is representing her has to step down and someone else steps up, and who it's a lady. Apparently it was a man before, so I'm sure some kind of misogynistic shit popped off. This bitch is like, no, motherfucker, you're not thinking about, because supposedly she was doing this to focus on healing and to focus on the kids, which, why the fuck wasn't that priority number one? But anyways, so they're switching into a lady who I'm pretty sure is coming off more on that regard of for the kids, for the children, not so much about the back and the forth of Angelina Jolie versus Brad Pitt, which is what you're seeing. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, he's fighting for his kids, so why wouldn't it be that? Because it's about the separation of the shit. But then again, it should also be about relationship with the kids. I don't know how that shit works. I don't work in Superior Court. So, but what I thought was interesting, though, was when mentioning all this shit, they had said, and I guess they didn't clearly define it as being part of, or the definition of what meaningful child support was, but I'm putting two and two together. She had made reference to where he had given that there's a difference between a loan and child support. So mind you, I don't know if that loan's been paid back, but if someone's giving you some money, I imagine that it will go towards that. And obviously, why the fuck would you tax the mother of your children? So in that same regard, he gave her money. Mind you, in a situation where, you know what I'm saying, the father of my step babies ain't around. We don't know if he exists or not, technically speaking. He hasn't seen a thing, doesn't care to even check on the kids. So mind you, there's a big difference, and there's a grand hardship when you're fucking raising life, especially that are older, needing of more shit. It costs, right? So any little bit that you do have really ain't shit, because you can always use more. You can always need more, and especially when you're struggling. And but regardless, and I'm not sure if that's the case with her. I know she was just filming Magnificent or whatever the shit's called, #2. So they're out in London or Australia, wherever the fuck they are, filming this shit. Which coincidentally, Brad Pitt happens to be filming a movie for Quentin Tarantino called Made in Hollywood or some shit Hollywood, which I'm hoping is the Charlie Manson movie. I'm not too sure. But again, ain't that a quinky thing? So now, after the third fucking major posting, because it's always funny how it's always through people. It's never through CNN or some other fucking organization. It's something like peoplemagazine.com fucking giving you these stories. So it makes me wonder, oh, well, obviously they have a fucking deal with said publication, exclusivity. They talk about it. They're promoting because, hey, they fucking happen to have movies coming out. Like, ain't that some shit? We got motherfucking people's lives here, their children's lives, embarrassments because they got to re-up their pictures. And by the way, really quickly, I saw the biological kids of Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. They are so beautiful and so legitly intertwined. It's fucking scary. The oldest girl has the face of her daddy and the dyke fierceness of her mama, in which case she also recognizes a boy, so she might quite in fact be a dyke. And I just said science right now, and it's crazy. But again, they're being put on blast and being put up there for judgment and shit that I'm fucking spewing, and it could all just be because we got projects in the mix. Let's remind you the relevance so that once it's time for the movies to come out, we can revisit this very fucking incident and be like, oh yeah, so the new movie's out. Motherfucker. That is scandalous. Y'all, but speaking of motherfucking scandalous mixed with cross-promotion, mixed with all around more scandalousness, really quickly, Eddie Murphy, y'all remember him from such comedies as I can't fucking remember. Dr. Dolittle. Raw. Going backwards. He's having his 10th kid with his, I don't know how many, baby mama or wife. A white woman. Very young. Younger than his old ass. He's having his 10th kid. Second with this bitch. Again, I'm repeating myself. History has a way of repeating itself. Anyways, I say that to say that Mel B, also a.k.a. S.P.i.C, you might have heard that she's recently has admitted to being admitted into going to some kind of rehab.
And I love that all the articles that I was seeing was about why. She says why. And in her reasons of saying why, she indirectly says it while also saying it's not because of sex addiction. Oh, it's not because of alcoholism. But maybe she's had a bit of both because she's been lonely, and who doesn't fucking drink, right? Unless you smoke. So it's funny that, all right, we realize, all right, so these are the reasons. And on top of that, with these reasons, I also happen to have a book. But right now, I'm still filming America's Got Talent. So once I'm done with that, and I go to London so I could then promote the book, I'm gonna check myself into rehab then. How fucked does that sound? And so insincere, wanting to ride the wave of whatever sort of sympathy has gone Demi's way for doing the right thing and trying to remain strong and doing the best that she can, which I definitely want for her. At the same time, you get all these vultures wanting to get in on that sympathy, because sometimes any kind of promotion is the best kind of promotion, whether it's for worse, right? And that's one of the fucked up things that I'm seeing with this. Because, again, we want to make mention as to the reason why she's not going there. Imagine it could be PTSD, because she said it was PTSD. But I'm pretty sure you would get that from, being a sex-addicted alcoholic that, wakes up with a different bottle and different dick in each hand each day, right? That would make the most sense. And we can understand that. And, again, it's written right over there, like blood on the walls, which, really quick segue, the Goldberg actor, The Goldbergs, which is a kind of funny show on ABC, and I don't know what fucking part he played, but he might have been an extra there in a couple other shows. Jackson Odell, only 20 years old, died of an accidental overdose. Don't really care too much about him, but it's fucked, because no one should do that. No one should overdose accidentally, and no one should OD on purpose, to be honest with you. You know what? And it sounds unsympathetic, but it's just how fucked up things are. And there's a whole lot of it. So we got to knock it out really quickly. This chick who was on ER, Vanessa Marquez, she was killed by police after she pulled the fucking BB gun on their asses. I don't know why the fuck she did it. Y'all can do your Googles and read the articles below. But she did. I don't feel like no one actually says shit. They're like, hey, yo, so-and-so did this. And then it happened. Why? I don't fucking know. But it did. Okay. I guess that's good enough. So, there's that, and there's the fact that we can't. I think that news happens so quickly and so often and so obscure sometimes, or so from left field, or so like, oh yeah, I think I might have maybe seen them before, but no one really gives a fuck. It just becomes old news. So know that I'm not a dick. That's just how things are. I think that should be the fucking catchphrase of my next special. I'm not a dick. That's just how things are. Anyways, speaking of specials and hoping to get my Netflix special one day, which they're trying to distance themselves from using the words binge, like when you were binge watching, which I remember like that was its biggest draw. But apparently, being in this PR world that we live in, people don't want to feel like they're binge watching all fucking day and they're just sitting around like a pig in their own shit. You know what I'm saying? Basin. So, and I can understand that. You don't want to feel that, but call it what it is. Be truthful and don't be a bitch about it. But I laugh that, they have to do that. And that's just good corporate stuff. But people then leak these things that so-and-so said this, and, we kind of overblow it. And, I mean, but I guess, oh, man, and it's such an ironic way for me to say that, too, for him to blow it. And I've blowed it a few times to this one. Not the Netflix thing in general, although the show is on Netflix, although not the 9th season. I'm talking about Shameless, y'all. I don't know if you ever fuck with Shameless. Story about a couple family in the south side of Chicago, back of the yards, real ghetto. My wife from out there, she real hood. And, you know what I'm saying? I got me around the way, girl. And anyways, Miss Emily Rossum, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Emmy Posium? I don't know. What the fuck is their name? This little Betty, and the Betty of the world, or the show. She's leaving after a 9th season. No rhyme or reason, but fuck, 9 seasons. I imagine she wants to get on her tip. She just recently, I think last season possibly, she had directed a few episodes, so she wore that hat. I'm wondering if she's gonna ride that wave with women empowerment and whatnot, and to try to move on to the next thing. But I sure hope it's more nudity.
I know it sounds terrible. It sounds super sexist, but she's fucking beautiful. And I'm so encapsulated by her that it took me 4 seasons to see, her reveal her milk duds. And I want to say that I became even more infatuated. And I hate to see that I'm not going to be able to see that again. So I want to hope for more of that in her future, because she's very beautiful. And may she shine upon all the world as she continues to live gloriously while this other fuckery is, out of mind and out of fucking sight. God bless it. But wait, there's more. At least one last thing I wanted to mention before I wrap it up with fucking entertainment news. And I guess in the same sorrowful ode that I give to the sweetita of a goddess, and saying goodbye to her, we're also saying goodbye to a bit of nostalgia, at least in my part, because I kind of grew up watching this. For as soft core as it was, I love how HBO and Showtime, they had their late night adult programming, and apparently there hasn't been strong demand for it, so they're quote unquote winding it down. At least HBO is. I don't remember how hardcore, if it was just like on some sexy taxi confession shit. I remember watching there because I think Showtime, maybe even Stars, they're way more fucking softcore about it. But yeah, they're winding down. Apparently, just motherfuckers just haven't been asking for it. I'm not too sure if this is because of the deal with AT&T. I didn't know was the parent company of HBO. That kind of says a whole lot. And I guess it makes more sense why T-Mobile's kind of pushing the Netflix thing. Maybe kind of something of another. But again, I laugh very much just because when I was younger, besides, because I guess I had, internet to FAP too, but it wasn't very fast, and I was always worried about viruses. And so and actually, maybe I just didn't know either. I didn't know where you can get it for free. I didn't know where you could find it. I thought you had to maybe download it through some kind of torrent, but certainly not fucking easily going to a Flash website, whatever the fuck. But I laugh because when I was little, obviously, you know what I'm saying, from Daddy's stash of Playboys and Hustlers to, the original tape or so around the house. But it was guaranteed that when you're living good and you had paid cable, you can catch a little naughty flick or two on the telly. You know what I'm saying? Usually, again, like I said, softcore, maybe just a titty or more. You know what I'm saying? No penetration of sorts. But you saw your little bit of naughty goodness. Now, you could be like, oh, porn's disgusting. So yeah, ew, right? But no, because it's kind of classy. But at the same time, it was just so funny that was the one way to get to something, at least that I knew of. Who knows? I guess you could have just bought fucking DVDs or cassettes, VHSs, however the fuck that shit worked, which my buddy did, because there's this place nearby us, and he spent like $50 for just 3 DVDs, and I guess it kind of makes sense, but man, no, there are more than fucking what you have to pay for when it drops hot on a Tuesday, like a regular Blu-ray. It was ridiculous. And definitely wouldn't have the same fucking production budget, you know what I'm saying, you would in fucking Marvel movie compared to that. Yeah, we pay more. And regardless, these hoes gotta eat, right? Even though they ain't getting paid shit. Again, and I'm gonna wrap this up because I just realized that hit I took before this shit is getting me loopy. And wrap the fuck up. Why would you know what I'm saying, waste money on something that people see for free somewhere else, not fucking with you, not bringing you all these things? That makes sense. It's business. Okay, that's gonna do it for entertainment news. So one of the things I wanted to talk about in the realm of business, because this shit got me excited, not because I have any stock, although I wish I did. It geeks me out for the competition of things. And Coca-Cola, who, come on now, fucking makes all the grandest fucking, boldest cola there fucking is, as well, the vitamin waters and whatnots. And they're fucking with Starbucks on some shit because they bought their arch rival, Costa. Bought it for $5.1 billion, which some analysts are saying was about $1.5 billion too much.
which whatever, I mean, it's about what it's worth to you. And I didn't know the shit that it stirred up as far as all the other interminglings of companies that owned other companies. So, and when I think about it, especially me mentioning nostalgia so much, I think about Nestle, I think about the tea, I think about the chocolate milk. That's a cobra clutch into my youth of drinks right there, right? Not just being ghetto, drinking Tampico, Coca-Cola, on some rich days. But, like, these are the things that fuel us. And then even, I think Coca-Cola owns Dasani. So, like, motherfuckers, they own some of the water, that we mix in with. And, again, Starbucks, I didn't realize that they're in with Nestle. And, of course, you got McDonald's kind of competing for not only biggest fucking toy company, but also contributor to coffee, because you motherfuckers are so easy to get to McDonald's. Why not pick up your coffee? And it tripped me out, because I'm starting thinking about Coca-Cola, the shit they own, you stop somewhere, vending machines that are owned by Coca-Cola. They can now have your coffee drink there, which would fuck up the little deal that I didn't know Nestle had with Pepsi. So, again, it's those things like, oh, well, shit, no, machines are going to have direct competition. So it's just, a little bit of a, I'm saying takeover, but hey, I want mine too. And it's just interesting. And it's interesting, all this shit is interconnected. Just how, like, all the TV channels we have, there's only so many networks that actually own them. They just want to give you variety because they want to, fucking get in where they can fit in. And that's every damn crack and hole. Holy. But speaking of holy and some holy motherfucking shit, in the realm of science, I'm not too sure how much of that you actually think of scientist, fucking astronaut, Mars. You start thinking about that kind of realm of thinking. But most definitely, I think it's, technology. And right now I'm high, so I'm rambling. What I'm trying to say is, this is a terrible fucking segue, but there's this asteroid named Asteroid TB145. That's Tango Bravo 145. And this motherfucker has a skull face looking design over it. And mind you, it's kind of a reach, but if you look at it, again, if you do your Googles or click on the link below somewhere, you'll see that it's a distance away. It has a lot to do with shadowing, but regardless if it has canyons or valleys or whatever the fuck bumps that give it that kind of shadowy effect, it's still making it look like that. So there's still a fucking theoretical fucking image of a skull of this asteroid that's just flying around. And apparently it swung around 4 or 5 years ago, and it's projected again to swing around sometime in 2022. And it's funny in a scary way how close and how far it is. So it's within safe distance. And of course, if we need to laser beam the bitch out of there, hopefully the Japanese would do so, depending on where it's going to hit. And the thing of that makes it fucking gnarly is, and now that I think about that, I couldn't imagine what kind of shape shift or what kind of imbalance we would have if any part of our Earth were to get fucking lopsided. I mean, shit, we're trying to bring back motherfucking woolly mammoths to try to stop the ozone layer from fucking up and melting all the goddamn ice pads. It's wild. And just to think that this motherfucker is just floating around too, just swinging around. I don't know if you ever watched the episode of The Simpsons when Bart and Lisa, they're playing the I'm not hitting you kind of thing, and you're just swinging and wherever the fuck you happen to swing. If you get in the fucking way, well then hats off. In that same way, I almost feel like that's like how the dice rolls with some of these asteroids that float around. And it's no wonder, or I guess because of how random it may be, and I'm pretty sure it's calculated, I'm sure it's all for a reason, but as random as you feel like it could be, especially just considering, where we started at from and maybe when we should have finished, or again, recollected resources and went back at it, and here we are, fucking Towers of Babel style, which is what I was trying to mention earlier when I was talking about Trump and making up all this gigamaroo, and just, whoever the fuck has the last laugh is, has the last little punch tag on it. But truly, I'm coming full circle, my mind's just kind of glittering. I found out this fun fact. They say that the true I guess, thing of survival is being the laziest, which obviously you don't prevail, you don't win, but like a cockroach, you do such bare minimums that, you're able to skate through it. And they say that's a legit way of how some would have survived. Because think about it, if you hide, you'll be there for once all the commotion's gone. Motherfucking T-Rexes and shit, they face whatever asteroids or icebergs or where the fuck that popped off to where, they gone, right? So I can't imagine what kind of things, again, we ended up being because, again, we're under the right rock. And it's also funny about how crack addiction, what that can do when you're under the right rock. And it's fucked up. And it kind of, and mind you, these are all real stories. It kind of got me thinking, too, about menopause. you made it through so many years. Now you're just going to malfunction and we're going to fucking see you, go haywire. Like the AC, which I think I'm just going hysterical and my mind's just melting into mush. But this is sciencey, I think. They're saying that there's a total of 5 species that can enter menopause, and apparently whales, belugas, narwhals are joining the likes of human ladies and species that go through menopause. That's supposed to be a connection with age and fucking the sheer full circle that we come through. And again, in the links that you could read if you wanted to do more, there was this supposed ancient monster galaxy that should have destroyed itself that we see somehow, we track with science, making its way downtown, growing past, and it's fucking homebound. And it's eating up all these things. And it makes me, again, think, and I wish there was a way to name these shits, but I don't know if there's really ways to track them. Or to tag them. We can't fucking toe tag them. I don't know how that shit works. How motherfuckers keep their names. Or how we could even measure it. Because the fucking black hole. It's a galaxy of swallowing galaxies. And when we saw that black hole with some fucking weird dick-shaped object flying through, it makes you wonder, like, is that the thing that's swallowing things up and spinning them out a whole nother direction? Like, can you imagine? And again, I'm out there, but come with me. Could you imagine we're on Earth, so we're not going nowhere, right? Us getting spit into this spin. I'm not just sure if the rotations around the sun or Earth would make us age any faster or make us get any dizzier or lose whatever sense of motion, traction, or fucking sanity. Who knows what it does to us mentally. I mean, can you imagine being a little carousel thing in the little circus or little state fair type shits where you have no strap, nothing, but you're laying flat, applying your back towards something. This bitch starts moving, you can slide up and down. I wonder in this sort of way what it would do to our sense of being. Again, in some fucked up way where we're definitely beyond a point of understanding or getting any closer. We're just becoming dumber and just slowly, dying off even sooner, having a little backwards contraction from how things were originally, to then happen to get hit by this asteroid that happened to spin us into a circle, that happened to get us off our trajectory, where we go into this fucking black hole that spits us and allows for whatever motion that we're in to be times infinity and beyond, and that take us out somewhere that we wouldn't fucking know. The bugs would come for us to eat us all. Which, again, this is a funny little story about how they legit now are being more adventurous than ever. And I see fucking crickets like a motherfucker, and I don't want to think on some Schumpeto shit, 'cause I don't need no one talking and possessing me like a puppet. But when I see crickets, they're so fucking infested by them. I just want, I don't know, do some terrible things to Disney. Lord forgive me. All right, so now we've reached near the ending of this show, and this is somewhat of the fireside, not fireside, that'd be a fireside chat. This is more like the light gun round, where I'm just going to toss a bunch of shits at you. Y'all can either catch them, y'all cannot. They're very important, but you know what I'm saying? What the most important thing, we're going to read you the bro facts really fucking quickly so you don't understand it, and then we're going to continue about our day. All right. First on the checklist, marijuana and pregnancy. There apparently are 5 key takeaways from a new official guide study testing THC in titty milk. Point of the fucking article: don't fucking do it. All right. not only can it cause psychosis, which I'm very psychotic. Fucking brain doesn't start developing until the age of 25. It probably wouldn't be a good idea to have that unless they absolutely needed it. If they don't need the medicine, I don't know if you should give it to them. I'm just saying, because even then you can, you know what I'm saying, trickle down the necessary shits from it. Vis-a-vis CBD. A single dose of CBD can reset the brains of people that are high risk of psychosis. So for me being this crazy belligerent type of motherfucker that I need my little bit of weed every now and again to put me down. Not put me down to lift me up. Not lift me up to get me around. I don't fucking know. See, it becomes a little bit of a craziness. But that's science. And speaking of science, China, they won't share samples of a deadly flu virus. And this is a motherfucking problem because this bitch has a 40% fatality rate, which means if we don't have a way to protect against it, we're going to be fucked when it comes to fight it. And in which case need them maybe for the dosage. So again, that's capitalism at its finest, and that's our fucking health. And that's fucked up. Speaking of fucked up in health, going back to Florida, not Mr. Florida, man, the cows. There's a fucking cow. I don't know how they trace this shit, but FDA traced that there's a cow with mad cow disease. So somebody was eating a motherfucker, no one said nothing, and now they gone crazy. Do your Googles or look for the link below. They're saying that low doses of aspirin, which is found too risky for most people, saying that it can now give you a fucking heart attack. And ironically, it was low doses of aspirin was used to stop heart disease. So you're going to get the disease or you get the attack. Which one do you want, motherfucker? I see in the sandwich, man. Speaking of uppers and downers, ketramine treats depression and it acts like an opioid. Hello addiction and hello darkness, my old friend. Speaking of which, my old friend, syphilis, gonorrhea, chlamydia, it has climbed the 4th consecutive year in the U.S. and now take the top prizes for STDs, making a 60% bump up. So people are fucking, nobody believes in rapping, and we passing climate cheese to every damn bad, and ain't nobody safe. But speaking of issues down there, the FDA warns that serious genital, your privates, penis, vagina, they're now carrying infections that are linked to certain diabetes drugs. People, I'm not going to bore you with all the finer details because this is something that you should look up yourself, or again, look at the link below and then do your Googles sequentially afterwards, because it's very serious business. That's your health. That's how you live. That's fucking life. And if life ain't Chipotle and that shit has its own salmonella issues, you know, we got to watch what the fuck we're doing. All right, so that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to wrap it up for the lightning speed round of what's going to win first. Me dying of fucking heat exhaustion here while I record and talk to y'all, or the marijuana that I have ingested that is making me mush mouth, mush brain, and mush face and very uncomfortable, or the electricity from kicking off. Apparently, none of those had slowed me down, and we made it. Motherfuckers, we made it. Motherfuckers, we made it to the what the fuck? What the fuck is this?
What in the hell?
Oh, that's fucked up. News. This next story was actually brought to you by my local ABC 15 news, and it reported that a teenager was subdued and then fucking robbed after him robbing a convenience store, our local QT Quick Trip. I don't know if y'all got him out there, but we do. And he held it at gunpoint, and what ended up happening, this is right off of 19th Avenue Bell. I used to work somewhere near around there, so I wonder if I guess I don't know no fucking teenagers, but what was fucked up about this whole thing was that a bunch of different customers jumped in to detain the 17-year-old male who, again, had allegedly robbed the store, even though there's definitely video surveillance of him holding a motherfucking gun. And also so he not only had a handgun that he used on the cashier, he stole $300 worth of cigarettes. I don't know if this motherfucker's trying to sniggle him into jail or why the fuck he was doing that. Or maybe he just wanted to fucking some cigarettes. He figured, fuck it, give me a shit ton. I can't just steal one pack. I got to get a fuck ton, right? I don't know if that's how it worked, but as he was leaving, legit, one of the customers speared his ass. Fucking Goldberg speared him. Someone stole his fucking gun, because literally they couldn't find the fucking gun. Who knows if that was a homie trying to get rid of evidence or what the fuck, but he stole the fucking gun. One motherfucker, because I guess a bunch of them jumped in and kicked him in the motherfucking head. Someone robbed his wallet. And I think someone took off with the cigarettes. I'm not too sure if anybody took off the cigarettes or not, but the fact that this motherfucker went in there, stole some shit, and then some other motherfuckers like, fuck it, we'll rob your ass. And I don't know if they got in trouble. They didn't say, but this motherfucker went in to steal some cigarettes and got fucking jumped, and everyone else left with what he was carrying. Motherfucker, if that ain't some goddamn...
What the fuck? What the fuck is this?
What in the hell? Oh, that's fucked up. News. Oh, speaking on some what the fuck, yo, a homeless man said that a couple has spent donations that were meant for him. It was a GoFundMe for him. And they fucking blew it on casinos, BMWs, and vacations. And now he got a judge order for them to give the rest. Now, they're not saying how much is left from this shit, but again, they raised more than $400,000 from just 14,000 different donors, which I did the math. It was about $28 at least, you know what I'm saying, to make it up that rack. And again, had a GoFundMe page for it. The cunt and dick's name is the bitch is McClure, the dude's Domingo. I'm trying to find where the names are, but pretty much they had raised this money because they saw him. He was a war vet. And I don't know, something or another to where even the fucking homeless war vet had spotted this bitch $20 once when she was out of gas, pulled over on the side of the road. So this dude seems like a pretty selfless cat. And, oh, here we go. So they're actually saying that there's barely about $150,000 remaining, which is still a good fucking chunk. Well over, they're saying. So that's a good amount of money that both they fucked up and that they're, about to give this guy. They're saying that they're worried that he was going to spend it on opioids and shit of that nature, which, of course, is the topic of discussion, the most used and I mean, definitely relevant. But they fucking squandered a shit ton of money, and I don't know how much BMWs is, but maybe that's a whole 100,000. Who the fuck knows? I don't keep up with this shit. I would have got me a shit ton of Jeeps, you know what I'm saying, for the end of the apocalypse. But yeah, y'all should really read up on the story because it was one of those feel-good things, and you wondered to yourself, oh, those are such nice people. Oh, man, I can't believe they're going out of their way. Oh, God bless them. Yeah, God bless them. They got themselves a car, some vacations, you know what I'm saying? And the guy's going to be left with a good chunk amount. I mean, it's a whole lot of money, but it's definitely a life starter for sure. And so, again, still feel good because the motherfucker's about to get his money even though it's less than half. I wonder what kind of shame these motherfuckers is in that they, spent that. But hey, nonprofits, they may not make a profit, but they got to live, right? So that goes along with how much of a motherfucking...
What the fuck? What the fuck is this?
What in the hell? Oh, that's fucked up. News. This is. All right, so last little thing I want to go over is about this 61-year-old man, 61-year-old gentleman who survived a great white shark attack by motherfucking beating it up. He beat the pussy up. Anyways, William Lutton, again, earlier was, I guess, minding his own business, fucking playing around the water. I don't know what the fuck he was doing, but what appeared to be a great shark went and sniped his ass. This motherfucker started fighting it. Now, they're saying there's a bunch of different techniques you can do to try to fight against the shark, to try to startle it away, like hitting on his nose or whatever the fuck like that. But once you're actually in that fucking situation, who the fuck knows what you're going to do? Fight or flight, stay frozen, sink to the ground, beat shark food. Like, who knows what would actually go down, what you would actually do. And then... So, of course, you want to fucking hit, but I'm thinking, man, can you imagine how slow you are in the fucking water? So this nigga was doing some fucking type not busyness and got the motherfucker to scare away. Obviously, he didn't fucking kill it. I don't know how much damage he did to it, but the fact that something was, fighting back against it probably startled. He's thinking, oh, fuck, I didn't think I was going to have to get the fuck out of here. So... it goes to show that when you see the fucking kids act retarded and they're swinging into the water, that's just good ways to develop and fight against your aerodynamicness so that in case of a shark attack, you can fucking beat it the fuck up. And he was very lucky because motherfuckers have left without limbs and, need I say, jaws or Sharknado. Who knows all the crazy shit that could have popped off, as if that has any realm of possibility. But still, like, that's just fucking wild. And if that's not fucking worthy, the goddamn
What the fuck?
What the fuck is
What
this?
in the hell?
Oh, that's fucked up.
Ain't it though?
News. Then I don't know what the fuck is. Y'all, I want to thank y'all so much for sitting through this, working through this, moving through this, whatever the fuck that you was doing during this. If you just got to listen to all of it, I want to thank you so much. I want to let you know that if you ever want to reach out to me, talk shit to me, say what's up, just what have you, you can always reach me on most social medias at Papo. Again, that's SOULPAPO. If ever you wanted to become a producer of the show, you can go to www.patreon.com/SoulPapo. Again, SOULPAPO. Motherfucker at Gmail, on IG, on the Tumblrs, Snapchats, what have you. You can get at me, even if it's trolling. You know what I'm saying? As long as you're not a fake Russian account, like, I'll fuck with you. I really will. And just know that all this shit, as I'm fucking steaming right now, I truly feel that when we're put in this hot box of things, it's because the universe needs to get a chemical reaction out of your ass. It takes this to get that. So in order for this, then that, and that endless cycle of shits that need in order to get things moving, yo, everything is meant for a reason, without any fucking doubt. It is. Hopefully we can stay strong during that process, because it's that adventure that takes us places, and that we not lose sight of the end of the tunnel, not lose bits of hope. And when that does happen, may God bless us. And whether they're angels, good Samaritans, or coincidental paths that come across or interlink or assist, may it be for the best and not for the worst. May we understand the difference, because that's the biggest thing, is understanding that difference. So although I always hit you with them last words, and I'm going to hit you with the end-off clip, I also want to keep you up with some creepy facts. And I'm going to just plow through them really quickly. They said the youngest military casualty of World War I was an 8-year-old little boy. I mean, mind you, they could tase you if you're at least 7 years of age in Alabama. So I guess traditions don't fall too hard. Diphallia, or Diphallia, diphallia. Anyways, it's a condition where the sufferer is born with 2 penises. That's definitely someone for the pink, one for the stink shit. They say that dogs can and do suffer post-traumatic stress. Next time you want to be a bitch ass, making them like put spaghetti sauce off your dick. They say that it is illegal to die in a Norwegian town of Longyearbyen. It is illegal to die in the Norwegian town of Longyearbyen. Don't fucking know why. Now, before they're executed, prisoners on death row in the U.S. are given a physical to ensure that they're fit enough to die. Whatever the fuck that means. 100,000 people die worldwide every year from tainted, mass-produced food. 85% of Vakaru Island in the Maldives is comprised of fish shit. Stifling or stifling a sneeze by blocking your nose and mouth can actually cause your throat to fucking rupture. By tomorrow, you will have forgotten 40% of what you experienced today. In Russia, packs of squirrels have been known to hunt and kill family dogs. Music is just as addictive as sex and cocaine. And cocaine is very addicting. A snake with king in its name will prey and eat other snakes. Researchers at Boston University are working on technology to download skills straight into people's brains. God bless it. I want to learn some languages. Over 1 billion people in the world will go to bed hungry tonight. while your fat ass is fucking eating ice cream right at the goddamn car with no plate, maybe not even a fucking spoon. Before you finish this sentence, 25 million of your cells are already dead. It is believed that the Aztecs sacrificed about 1% of their population every year, or close to 250,000 people per annum. 80% of Russian males born in 1923 died in World War II. In conversation, people lie roughly 3 times every 10 minutes. This has been going on for at least over an hour, I hope. Do the math. 3 of the Marlboro men died of lung cancer. Alcohol poisoning kills 6 Americans every day. The national suicide rate increased by 10% in the 4 months following Robin Williams' death. Dolphins kill other animals for fun with no intention of eating them at all. Think about your life. Strain it out. Do what you gotta do. God bless you.
That's good. Not hot. Oh, it creeps though. It's creeping. Very TLC. I'm showing my age, 90s.
That's good.
It's coming up though. Oh, it's late. Sneaky. Sneaky Pete. Oh, it's coming. But you gotta keep right in so that the heat doesn't keep rising. That's the tip.
Ooh, iCame.
Woo!
I've been creeping on the ground, peeping out the snap, just waiting for the right moment just to ask you where it's at. So can you do me that? I know it's been a minute since we last kicked it, yeah. So if you ain't busy, how about we visit, yeah. I know that you'd have missed it. So how about a visit, yeah. No need for no specifics. You already know what this is, yeah. You probably want to say no, but not really though. You always fly through in your comfy clothes, and it don't last long until you is hotter though. So why we even go and tippy toe back and forth? Why's we even frontin' for? Like really though, you love me and I love you, at least we do. When we do what we do in that very special way that we always seem to do. And you know that it's cool to come through. Like bitch, I'm waiting on you for those rotations in life that we know to expect every other fucking few. Don't tell me that ain't true. Come on boo, ain't no need to even say that I do, cause I do when I do, and I know that you do too. I know it's been a minute since we last kicked it, yeah. Hurry your ass and come through.